What's going on, Lakers fans, and welcome into episode 40 of the LakeShow Flow. I am your host, Gio. As the Luka era has finally arrived in Los Angeles, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a Lakers fan. What a time to be excited about what this team is doing this year, what this team could be doing in the future. We got a lot to get into. Obviously, Luka's debut with the Lakers, and they do pick up the win, 132-113 against a struggling Jazz team with, all they're playing for is Cooper Flag at this point. They don't really have playoff hopes or aspirations, but nonetheless, the Lakers get their 12th win in 14 games, their 6th win in a row, and there was some concerns, obviously, about the fit, which I never understood when people were asking, like, how is this going to work with two ball-dominant guards, I would say, because, LeBron's technically a point guard, but two ball-dominant players, including Austin Reeves, who we've seen his usage rate just skyrocket, especially in games that LeBron and AD have missed, so just a lot to get into about Luka's debut. I got to touch on the rescinded trade that happened because we did have Mark Williams, which was my last video. There was that trade that happened for Mark Williams, trading away Dalton Connect, but it obviously didn't happen now. It was rescinded, in case you didn't know. So I will touch on that, and also the Hornets trying to contest that and see if they can still get the trade to go through. So interesting developments there. I'll touch on that as well as the buyout market and all that stuff too. But we got to keep the focus on a moment in history, a moment in Lakers history, a moment in NBA history, because a lot of people are saying that obviously the Luka trade could go down as the greatest trade in Lakers history. And I agree. I agree with that. The greatest trade in NBA history possibly is what I'm hearing too. So, like I said, the fit was a question. But as soon as you see Luka get on that court and the crowd erupting, and an interesting fact, he said that LeBron texted him in the morning today and told him, whatever you want to do when it comes to the player intros, it's up to you, but I'm willing to give you the honor of being the last guy announced. And that was just a big deal because obviously you want to welcome in Luka with open arms as an organization, but LeBron James didn't have to do that, He didn't have to give up his, he's the most tenured Laker right now on the team. He's the guy that, obviously the most tenured player in the NBA, pretty much. So he has that honor of being the last guy announced, but he gave that option to Luka. Luka said that he was honored by that and he felt amazing getting that from LeBron and that it'll be that way tonight, which was a big moment. The crowd went crazy, and he said it'll go back to LeBron having that honor, going forward. But I just thought that was amazing, just seeing that from LeBron, that gesture, welcoming him in to the franchise and willing to take him under his wing. So that the night already starts off crazy. The whole arena is decked out. Like, I wish I was at this game because everybody got like a free Luka Doncic shirt that was on there. Just the energy around everybody, it just felt like a playoff game. It felt like a big deal, which it was. And right away, this game starts off with a lob to Jackson Hayes from LeBron. And then on the next possession, the Lakers have a lob to Jackson Hayes from Luka Doncic. So his first touch as a Laker results in an assist and alley-oop, right? And then his first three as a Laker results in a step back. I think he got Walker Kessler switched onto him. He steps back and makes the three on the big man. And it was just the same exact spot that he did that against the Timberwolves, where he was like screaming at Rudy Gobert because he hit the three in his face, and he's like, motherfucker. He's like, you can't fucking guard me, And it just gives you a taste, right? And here's the thing. Luka, his final stat line isn't the craziest. It was 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That's Luka pretty much just getting back into game shape. That's Luka who hasn't played an NBA game since Christmas. That is just the appetizer, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't even play 30 minutes. He played like, I think 22 or 23 minutes. They kept it light. They didn't rush him back into like full encore, just everything he's used to. But that's just the appetizer. Imagine going to a restaurant and you're sitting there, they bring you the appetizer and it already tastes like, holy shit, this is some good. I can't even imagine what my main dish is going to be. You know what I mean? It's that fulfilling. So just don't get me wrong. As a Laker fan, I'm sitting there. Every time he breathes on the damn court, I'm reacting. I'm overreacting to every pass he makes. And don't get me wrong, his passing, it's like float like a butterfly Luka's the butterfly of the team. He floats like a butterfly, and then we got the stinging like a bee of LeBron James. Like that's literally how the team feels. It's smooth. When Luka does anything, it looks smooth, right? He makes people play at his pace. He makes people like I told you guys on another episode where JJ was saying that Luka has the best breaks in the fucking world, and you could just see it. And maybe, I mean, I saw it in the finals last year. I watched a lot of their playoff run. I like to bet, I like to gamble, so I was watching them pretty closely in every series they played. But seeing him on the Lakers, like you get a new appreciation for the pace and the patience and just the vision that Luka Doncic sees the game at, right? And like the one thing that did stand out is obviously he's not gonna come out here and knock down like 5 threes like he has before or more than that. So his shooting, his legs need to get under him. His conditioning, he seemed like he did get a little gassed, in the first quarter or his first little shift that he played in. But I'm not too concerned about that. The thing that really stands out is JJ Redick. From the moment that he became the Lakers coach, he came in and said that his goal is to have a team that is well connected on both sides of the floor. So there's communication out there. Everyone knows their assignments. Everyone knows their spots, and it almost becomes second nature, right? And the Lakers had been winning games. The Lakers had been looking good. They're beating the teams that they're supposed to. They were buying into, the fact that they had no choice but to play small ball a lot of the time, including like Jackson Hayes. He almost comes off as like he can switch everything in a way. Like he can guard a lot of people, which you wouldn't expect that from a big man, but he can go out there and he's a smaller body in a way compared to like other big men, but he's a switchable defender. And the fact that they have to play small as well as switch everything, even with Jackson there, that takes a lot of buying into. That takes a lot of hustle. That takes a lot of just having the right guys, like the right mindset. And, JJ had talked about keeping the team connected, and Luka comes in. You would think obviously it's not gonna set you back when you drop a MVP candidate like into your team, but there were those concerns that I had talked about, and I feel like all that stuff doesn't even matter because everybody on the court, well, at least the guys that are going to be touching the ball most of the time, like LeBron, Reeves, and Luka, obviously, those guys all have the same mindset of just trying to make their teammates around them better as well as each other. So you could just see the fluidity of Luka coming in and just being a part of that connectivity, just so seamless, and it just comes in and it just makes the guys even better because you're dropping in a generational talent right into something that's already flowing, and it's just exciting overall. And Luka even talked about how watching the team play in these last few games that he wasn't able to play, he just loved how connected they were. And like LeBron's used the word connected, AD was saying that when he was here. One thing about JJ is he's really gotten the guys, like every single player has really bought in to being connected and being a team that can, stay aligned with his vision. And so for Luka to say that and say he was just itching to get in there and be a part of that, it shows the culture that's being built. And I just got to give a shout out to JJ. I mean, who would have expected that at this point in the year, the Lakers are the 4th seed. They're only 2 games back from the 2nd seed. Like, this team is obviously no one's probably going to catch OKC. They're ahead by way too many games, but the Lakers could potentially end up having to play like the 7th seed, one of the play-in teams. They could get some home court advantage against every other team besides OKC. Realistically, they can do that, and it's an exciting time. In this game, we can't ignore it. I mean, LeBron had 24 points, he had 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and Austin Reeves just continues to be that guy with 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Rui, who's been stepping up, he had 21 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. And then we had Jordan Goodwin. He comes in off the bench. He's been a two-way player for us. He's been shining in the last few games. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals. Just a pesky defender. I feel like he's just a baller. I told my brother, like, he just plays basketball the right way. And obviously I said Luka, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jackson Hayes, 12 points, only 2 rebounds. 2 assists, though. He was moving the ball pretty good, and 3 steals. Like I said, he likes to move around and get active on the perimeter. And then Gabe Vincent, who's also, it's like he's turned back the clock into like Miami Heat. Gabe Vincent, the guy we're excited about, because last year, I mean, he basically was in recovery the whole year, so it's finally good to see him get his legs under him. 11 points, 4 assists. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, the team looked great. Like I said, it's the Utah Jazz, so we can't get in over our heads about how good the team looks. Obviously, it's exciting, but It's going to be interesting after the All-Star break. We play the Jazz again on Wednesday this week. Then it's the All-Star break. We come back from that and they play against Charlotte, which is ironic because we got to get into that whole Mark Williams trade that got rescinded. But I got to make sure I touch on some more when it comes to this team. So when it comes to the Lakers, I feel like because of the Mark Williams trade getting rescinded, it puts a damper in, I guess, to me, the potential of how far this team could go. Because when you're anticipating adding a guy like Mark Williams, he's just a way better rebounder than Jackson Hayes. He's has these undeniable physical gifts that, 7'2" with shoes on, that 9'9" standing reach, like that stuff you can't teach. That's just a big dude, and you don't have that now. He's not coming unless the Hornets get what they want and the trade gets, reversed again. But I don't know. I don't see that happening if the Lakers really did find something that they can prove to the league when it comes to his physical, that they weren't feeling it. But I just, the potential of the team takes a hit because you have to play Jokic, right? You have to play Chet Holmgren from OKC. Even, I guess to a lesser degree, Sengun from, the Rockets. And then on the Grizzlies, you have Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson. So there's these big men everywhere that you got to worry about, let alone even if you escape and you escape the West, right? You somehow avoid or beat Jokic. You beat Chet Holmgren and OKC and Shea and them. And then you go to the finals. You're going to face either, probably most likely, the Cavs, who have two elite big men that they play in the starting lineup, which is Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, or you're going to play the Celtics, who have Kristaps Porzingis, and if they want to, I think they can, or maybe sometimes they start out Horford as well. So a lot of size, a lot of dynamic bigs out there. And I guess from a fan's perspective, I'm just a fan. I could say, well, why don't you just sell out to these bigs? Like, I've always been under the philosophy that Jokic can't score like every single point. So why don't you just let him eat and stay home on everybody else, But I don't know. We saw how Darvin Ham handled it, and he seemed to want to keep sending help. And I feel like when you sacrifice resources to try to stop Jokic, there's too many shooters around him. You got Jamal Murray, who's just a playoff elevator. Like, he's like one of the best playoff performers I've ever seen. And you have Michael Porter Jr., another playoff elevator. He just elevates in the playoffs and he knocks down shots. They got Christian Brown over there that can knock down some shots. They got Peyton Watson, who can get some little, drives and stuff. He can shoot sometimes too. They got Russell Westbrook. I mean, it's whatever. But like, I don't see him as like some shooter, like a shooting threat. But if you sacrifice so much to stop Jokic, I feel like you're pretty much just asking other guys to knock down threes and for you to lose the game a lot faster. I don't know. That's just my thing. And even against the other teams, like, what are you going to do? Evan Mobley's going to drop 50. Chet Holmgren's going to drop 50. Like, I would sacrifice a 50-point game to a big man knowing that they still have to score about 80 other points just to really beat us by a lot. So I don't know. That's just why I think this team does take a hit on their full potential. But I'm just saying, I think JJ is very smart. He's been really good with these small ball lineup shifts that he brings people out in, or brings the team out in. I'm not crazy worried about these teams, even though we don't have Mark Williams coming to town now. I feel like there's a lot of potential here. I feel like with Luka and LeBron, they're gonna fit like a glove, it seems like. And I feel like LeBron is willing to sacrifice. If you're gonna put Luka on another ball dominant, on a team with another ball dominant player, like, you're gonna want it to be someone like LeBron. Because if you put him with Anthony Edwards' mindset is, I'm gonna score first. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm gonna score first. LeBron is almost the perfect player if you're gonna pair Luka with another ball dominant player. LeBron's like the perfect guy. So I don't see either of them having a big ego. It seems like Luka almost has these moments of being starstruck, but he's playing with LeBron. There was literally a fast break that was just crazy. I saw it in slow motion. You could see Luka. He looks up after he gets a rebound. He sees LeBron already firing himself down the court. He has a smile on his face and almost like has an audible yell, and he just tosses it down court on the fast break. LeBron finishes at the rim. So to me, I think Luka is not a prideful guy. I think Luka feels welcome and wanted by LA, which is another thing that feels great to hear from him. And LeBron has done everything to make him feel comfortable already. I think they're going to continue this chemistry. And I think everyone around them is going to eat, because an unsung, part of this is going to be Austin Reeves. Also, Dorian Finney-Smith, who I think eventually will probably need to get moved into the starting lineup, because you have Gabe Vincent off the bench, who's a pretty good perimeter defender. He'll struggle against bigger guards and wing players, but he's a pretty good defender. He's a hustler. He's been knocking down his threes. And then you have Vando, who's a great defender. And then you have Dorian, who's been off the bench, as another great wing defender. One of those guys needs to be in the starting lineup. And unfortunately, I think Rui is the odd man out. You're not going to bench Reeves with how great he's been playing. I think there's a lot of things we haven't even seen yet, because we only got the appetizer, like I said. There's a lot of pick and rolls we haven't even seen with him and Luka. Him and Braun already have that chemistry, but there's so much potential. I think you have to keep Reeves in there. But Rui's just the odd man out. And not the sad thing, but the tough thing about JJ is he doesn't let guys just lose their job for no reason. Even when Rui had got hurt and we acquired Dorian Finney-Smith, he didn't just make Rui lose his job. Once Rui was healthy, Dorian had to go to the bench. So JJ's the kind of coach that's like, he wants that continuity, he always says. And that's another part of being connected. And he likes to keep the starters. So until the team has to face a team where they're kind of struggling defensively, I think we're going to keep seeing Rui in the starting lineup. And if he keeps putting up, 15 to 20 on a great day, I mean, that's not bad. I think it's not a bad idea to keep him in there. And like I said, I don't see any reason why you can't look at this team with the potential of Luka once he gets his legs fully under him, which could take another month or something, just for him to fully get acclimated and, back to his full self that we know Luka can be. This team has all the potential. They could win the championship, honestly. And it might sound crazy. I might be like Jovan Buha said, the same thing. He thinks they're true contenders, not saying that they're favorites, but we might both be bullish on the Lakers. But I feel like I have no choice but to believe in this team. They have given me every reason to believe that they can win a championship, because you're adding arguably the best player in the world next to someone else that could be arguably the best player in the world. And they have guys around them that are all bought in. They have defensive wings around them. Obviously, you need another center, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But everything is there. And you just know when you watch Luka Doncic play, he's just special. And there's just something, there's an aura about this dude that he just carries as a basketball player. And I just can't wait to see the full potential. I can't wait to have, not just the appetizer, but the whole damn meal. I can't wait to see what Luka's serving us on a nightly basis. And once we see that, I think Laker fans will get even more excited. And even though this game was just hella exciting, everyone cheered like crazy every time Luka checked in, every time Luka touched the ball. Like, it was just exciting. He did pretty much everything you want to see. He hit that three, which was his only three of the night. And then he also hit like an offensive rebound. He hit a nice end one where he bullied his way into the hoop, which is another underrated part. And then he also hit a little Dirk fade, and Dirk was there to watch him in his debut, which is crazy. So we saw glimpses. And yeah, I mean, this team, like I said, they need to add some depth. They need to add another center in. And I heard the name Alex Len pop up this morning. He was supposed to sign with the Pacers after getting waived by his last team, and then he just canceled that. He said, I'm not signing with the Pacers. And then there's speculation that him and the Lakers have like mutual interest. He's not, I don't know about Alex Len. Like, it kind of bothers me that we didn't end up getting Jahlil Okafor, because I'd rather take a flyer on a guy that was once highly regarded rather than someone that's kind of borderline out of the league with Alex Len. So I don't know. I think the Lakers' identity, as far as big men, as far as paint protection, they're not going to get any big names off the buyout. More than likely, they can't even afford some of the bigger names that could get a buyout. So more than likely, they're going to have to choose on some of these lower tier guys. And to me, I think you kind of just have to keep that identity. You're a small ball team sometimes. You have Jackson. Your offense hopefully can just run guys off the court. Hopefully that connectivity and just having everybody hustling, the wing defenders you have to throw in there like Vando and Dorian should be starting. All that. And one thing I noticed too is with LeBron having Luka and Austin Reeves, who take a lot of the load off of him offensively. He still had the highest usage rate today, but it'll obviously shift towards Luka having more. Austin's number will go up, but I feel like with him having less dependability, like you're not gonna have to rely on LeBron to be the offensive threat every game. He's not gonna have to take the ball up every time. He's not gonna have to do all the dirty work all the time. I feel like his defense, especially today, you could see like he was hustling more. It seems like he has more of a pep in his step. It seems like he has more energy for defense and rebounding. And I don't know, that's exciting too, because I'm not saying we're going to get like Miami Heat, LeBron, prime LeBron on defense, but you can tell that a lot of that offensive, responsibility is off his shoulders. And now he could just play a little more free on defense. He has more energy to give. So I'm excited to see that in a playoff atmosphere because I know LeBron gives way more on the defensive end. So, like I said, they might not be able to get another big after this Mark Williams thing. But I will touch on that Mark Williams thing. So, in my last video, I talked about the Lakers acquiring Mark Williams. And myself and a lot of Laker fans saw the potential. I've already stated his 7'2" and 9'9" standing reach. I'm sure you guys have heard that enough times if you pay attention to me and other Laker, podcasters. So, unfortunately, the Lakers had to rescind the trade, which means they basically canceled the trade and said, take your guy back because they found something in his physical that made them believe that he wasn't going to be able to be their starting center for the long term. So think about it. They gave up a first-round unprotected pick, Dalton Connect, who they were very excited for, as well as another first-round protected, or I think that one's a pick swap, and then Cam Reddish. So you're giving up a lot of stuff, and you're not going to take that investment unless you believe that this guy can be your center for the next 10 years. And whatever they found, which hasn't been disclosed, it was enough for them to say, no, we can't do this. You guys didn't tell us that this was an issue, or you guys didn't do a thorough enough, physical on your side. So it was rescinded. And now the Hornets apparently are trying to make like all the efforts. They contacted the league and they're trying to make the trade basically go through. And so I don't know how that's going to pan out. It is a bit awkward. Like you could see Dalton Connect sitting there with the team and he seems very like disengaged. He seems very like not into what's going on. Like, I mean, I don't blame him. He got traded in his rookie year after a team tells you they believe in you and they can't believe that they were able to draft you. I think eventually he realizes like it's a business. Like he knew that once they traded for Luka, they really needed a center because they got rid of AD. So I don't know. I think he's going to be able to realize it's a business eventually and months are going to go by. And when the playoffs come around, I hope that he's ready to snipe. I hope he's ready to catch some of these crafty passes that Luka creates for him and gets him wide the fuck open on the three-point line. And I hope he's sinking them. And I hope all that stuff's behind him. And who knows? Hopefully for his sake, the kid plays himself out of trade talks and he's on the team for the long haul. That would be beautiful, because Luka could have him looking like a prime Clay minus the defense unless he learns how to play some more defense. But that could honestly happen in the playoffs. So you give Luka another guy you can hit in the corners, another guy you can drive and kick to, and he could end up being a big part of this Laker team. So that is the update when it comes to that trade. And I've already went over how the Lakers are very limited on their options going forward with that. But like I said multiple times, this was just a time to be alive. This was just a moment that Laker fans will forever remember. Luka's debut, getting excited for every time he touched the ball or even breathed near the ball. Like, it was a beautiful time. And I look forward to covering every single game that Luka plays. And I look forward to, breaking down things and seeing how he fits and seeing him play for more than 30 minutes and how he handles that. And just the fit's going to continue to just be seamless to me. I feel like it's just going to continue to just vibe with them. And they all seem connected. Luka seems happy. It's a different Luka than we saw in his intro press conference. He seemed very down. He seemed very sad. But now he's smiling on the bench. He's smiling on the court. He's already donated $500,000 to the city, all the people affected by the terrible fires out there in LA. Like, he's embracing the city. He's learning more about what happened, and he said that every kid deserves to have a park to go play at. Every kid deserves, all these different things that they lost in those fires, and that's a beautiful thing. And one thing that stands out, as Luka said in that statement when his foundation made that donation. He said, "We're here to help now and for the long haul." So I think we got Luka. He wants to be here. He wants to stay for the long haul. And the Lakers have done everything to make this guy comfortable as possible. I mean, he even had Slovenian music playing in his warm-up shoot-around. Like, that's something he carried over from being on the Mavericks. They let him bring his whole training staff. Like, even people the Mavericks had let go of, and he was mad, saying that they fire everybody that he likes. And the Lakers said, bring your guys, be comfortable as possible. So I'm just saying, this is the beginning of the Luka era, and this is a time to be excited. So I hope you guys are excited as me, but that's going to put a bow on this one. And yeah, if you guys are new here or you've been here, leave a like, comment. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I don't really get too many comments. Hopefully, as this thing grows, I'll be able to engage with the audience more. But shout out to my co-host Joe, that's still on his deployment in the Navy. He does comment every now and then. I appreciate you, bro. Can't wait to get you back on the microphone. And shout out to his wife, Fran, who supports the podcast, her brother. Shout out to my brother. I don't even know if he's been watching, but I know he has. I know he's subscribed, so you better be fucking watching, Diego. My tia, Chacha, has been sharing the damn video or liking my videos when I share them. And yeah, anyone that supports, I appreciate it. I just want to keep this thing growing. But that's going to do it. And yeah, like I said, we appreciate all the support here. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.